Dear audience, we're witnessing history here.
Oh my goodness, what an interesting week, guys.
The views expressed on the podcast are those of the individuals who made them, and they do not represent the views or beliefs of Job Duck.
Hello, Sanborn, Dumelang, buenos dias, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Pumped Up Quacks. My name is Wussy from the Job Duck, and I'm here with some usual and unusual suspects. Good people, let the audience know who you are.
Hello, my name is Macarena, and I'm from Argentina.
Hi guys, I'm glad to be back. My name is Andres, they call me Andy, and I'm from Mexico.
Hello, this is Claudia from El Salvador.
And I'm Miguel from Colombia.
Oh yeah, I'm loving how there's a big mixed bag of everybody from everywhere. This is amazing.
Yeah, what a multicultural episode we have today. I'm so excited.
I know, right? I can't wait to hear all the insights and all the interesting tidbits. But welcome to Macarena and Claudia. And I've also got a question for you guys. Are you guys ready for this week's riddle? What is the last part of your body to die when you die? Give it some thought. We will revisit this riddle and discuss the answer at the end of the episode. But in the meantime, let's dive into this week's quacky news. Okay, so a lucky gogo, aka grandma from Delaware, who had just won a huge lottery prize of $100,000, was shocked when she bought a scratch card and won an even bigger jackpot immediately after that. She bought a scratch card, basically, and she won that money. And to celebrate, she bought even more scratch cards from the same shop, which revealed an even bigger jackpot of $300,000, bringing her incredible winnings to $400,000. She told the publication that her best friend was the first person she told about winning all that money. Guys, what kind of luck is that?
I mean,
I wish I could have that luck, yeah.
That's crazy.
Half of that luck.
I brought something from my favorite artist. Taylor Swift is making history as the first artist with the entire top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. The whole top 10 is her songs. Taylor Swift scored one of the most historic weeks in the 64-year-old history of the Billboard Hot 100 songs chart, becoming the first artist ever to ever claim the top 10 in a single frame. The one that had come the closer was Drake with 9 songs, but Taylor Swift got 10 with her Midnight.
Way to go, Tay-Tay. Way to go.
Yeah.
You have
Yes.
It's always good when someone beats Drake. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
Enrico Springfield, a 23-year-old South African barber from Johannesburg, just broke the Guinness World Record as he completed 5 fade haircuts in 18 minutes and 57 seconds.
Minutes?
Yes.
He did the whole fade.
Yeah,
and he put the corners. He neatened everything up.
Guinness World Records,
that makes
baby.
your head smell. Oh, wow.
So, Bussy, if you ever want to
incredible.
get the fastest fade haircut in your life, please visit him at Southside Barber Shop and come back to tell us your experience, please.
I'll let you know when I think I want to get a fade, okay?
Did you guys know that kids who play 21 hours of video games per week perform better on cognitive tests? So a new study with over 2,000 participants finds that the 9 and 10 years old who play more than 21 hours of video games per week outperform their peers who don't play video games. So they outperform on cognitive tests of response inhibition and working memory. I remember my parents telling me like, oh, don't do this. This is bad for your eyes. Like this is not good for kids. And there you go.
There you go.
Mom.
Yeah.
Easy.
If you're listening out there, you were wrong. You're wrong.
Exactly. Now
Give me
what I
back my
can say
PlayStation 2.
is that 21 hours, you gotta pump those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers. Nope. Okay, so remember last week my news was about a cobra.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Setting free from an aquarium and it was lost
In Sweden.
in
I
Sweden.
remember.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
Busi said that she had a friend called Sven who had to be careful. Sven can be totally chill because the cobra returned home by its own.
That's
That's
such a heartwarming comeback.
Yeah. She was like, I don't like this. I want to go home. And that's it.
Dear audience, we're witnessing history here.
Oh my goodness, what an interesting week, guys. But thank you for all those wonderful stories. I would love to get into today's first conversation, and also the reason why we have a mixed bag of people in this episode today. We have somebody from Argentina, we have someone from El Salvador, I'm from South Africa, we got Mexico and Colombia. Recently, our Mexican cousins celebrated the Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, and we found it fitting that we could discuss some important cultural festivals in our respective countries. So since Mr. Andres is from Mexico, I think it's only fitting that you kick us off and tell us what is the Dia de los Muertos. Is that the day you wanted to tell us about?
Yes. Well, I mean, there are several, but I think due to the time that this podcast is being recorded, I think that's the best shot that I have. So yeah, it actually lasts 2 days. The first day is for innocent souls, and the second is the general Day of the Dead. What most of the people do is that they put up an altar, they put flowers, they put food, especially the food that the deceased liked when living. We put, there's like this amber stone that we use is called copal, that we light it up and it's kind of like incense. A lot of flowers, portrait of the people that you're dedicating the altar to. And it's supposed that the souls at night, they follow a trail of flower petals. It's from marigold, the flower, the traditional flower for these festivities is marigold. In Spanish is called, well, in Mexican Spanish is called cempasúchil. And they follow the trails and they eat the energy of those foods. And they don't actually eat it, but they take the energy from those foods. And they say that if you try it the day after, it is tasteless. Like most of the food that you put on an altar is tasteless, you know, reaffirming the idea that the death consumed the substance of the food that you put up on an altar. And
I have a question. You described the setting up of this altar and the meaning behind it and all of that. What happens if there's like a naughty child who just happens to grab something from that altar and eat it whilst no one's looking? Is that like frowned upon? Like how long do you need to keep the food there?
Your local grandma will lecture you and will spank your hand if you do that. With a chancla probably, or like a belt.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know.
Like grandmas here are really good with chanclas, so
they have such a name, you know, like 20 meters.
Precision.
Yeah, exactly.
Precision hits, snipers will always get you.
Exactly. So yeah, basically it's that. It's tasteless, is food that is separated from your regular food just for the deceased. And I mean, nothing will happen. Like you're not gonna die out of eating that food from the altar, but it's against the tradition and it's probably gonna taste tasteless, you know.
That's interesting. It also sounds very colorful, and if you've seen Coco, you know, the face, I love the imagery behind Dia de los Muertos, like the flowers and the face painting and all. I really hope that I can actually experience this day in Mexico.
Well, regarding I was thinking when he was talking about Day of the Dead, about our biggest kind of event here. It's a carnival, though it's not so the meaning, it's not so deep. It's more of like a 2-day party during the summer, but like the whole country goes there. It's in one kind of a little town we have here in Argentina called Gualeguaychú, and it's like for 2 days everyone travels there. It's like a national holiday. We don't work those days. It's generally on a Monday or a Tuesday. Like those days are off for everyone to go to the carnival, and it's like big parades for like 2 days, people dressed up as everything going around. Like, as I said, a big party for everyone in the country to go if they can. So it's really fun. There's lots of kids camping. You see lots of camping there, like groups of friends going. So yeah.
That's so cool. I have a question. When does that happen?
In the summer. It's in February, which is summer here in Argentina.
Oh,
Still.
I see.
So yeah, so kids don't have classes, but us grown-ups have holidays to go there. So
Excellent. That sounds really cool.
yeah.
Andy.
What's the traditional food of that carnival?
Oh, I don't think there's just one traditional food. There's like little food trucks with all, like whatever you want to find, you can find it. But in Argentina, like the most classic thing that you can see in every event, it's, well, choripanes. I don't think there's an English word for it.
From the wind.
Choripan!
Yeah, but it's like a sandwich from, again, chorizo, which is, let's say, it could be kind of a sausage.
Oh,
Yeah.
choripan.
Just to understand
Okay,
it.
I get it. Choripan.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
it.
a
Yeah.
weird sausage, but people
It's-
here loves it. You can find one of those everywhere in Argentina, like every meal, like the pre-snack, whatever you will eat before having a big meal with your family, it will always be choripan. You can be walking on the street and find like these little charts that have them. When you go to a sports event or whatever event that will have food there, it's full of these kind of trucks that have different meat sandwiches, but this is like the classic one.
Oh,
For
Okay.
yeah.
It's like a hot
Sorry,
dog,
yeah.
right?
It looks like
Yeah,
a
kind of a
hot dog that's going to the Oscars. I don't know if that makes
What?
sense.
No.
Like there is
Yeah.
no, because you get like an ordinary hot dog, which is like
Oh,
a sausage
yeah.
in a roll. But I googled choripan and it's like, okay, there's the bread and then there's the chorizo, but then there's like other stuff happening too. Like it looks really good. Wow.
It has
Really
chimichurri,
good.
right? Maca?
Yeah, probably chimichurri or something.
Yeah, chimichurri. That's
Mm.
the
Oh.
classic one. It's chimichurri, which is kind of spicy. The whole sandwich, it's a little bit spicy.
Mm.
But yeah, it's kind of a hot dog 2.0.
Nice.
Yeah.
In steroids.
Hot dog
Yeah.
on
I'm
steroids.
hungry now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Miguel, what's the word in Colombia?
So we have the Carnaval de Barranquilla. It's in Barranquilla, and it's in February normally, but sometimes it's the end of February, the start of March, and it celebrates like life and death, and it's super interesting, and it has a lot of things. My family is from Barranquilla, and they loved it, and it's for a whole week, and nobody works in Barranquilla for a whole week because it's carnival. What else? We have
That
another
sounds
one.
interesting.
It is super
What's the
good.
traditional food in the carousel? I love food. I'm sorry for my questions, guys. But
Yeah, I
in the
love food too.
carnaval?
carnival, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't like. There's a lot of food, but I guess it would be like food from the coast. That is carimañola.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds
Eh,
good. I don't
That's
know.
like it has Arabian like descent here, and especially Barranquilla.
okay.
So there's a lot of like, for example, kibe or carimañola. Wait, what else? And yeah, there's a lot of things.
All right. Claudia, what's the word in El Salvador?
Well, today is a holiday, November 2. I wouldn't say it's similar to Mexico because I think let me explain. So, what we do is we celebrate Dia de los Difuntos, or it could be called Dia de Todos los Santos, that translates to All Saints Day. So we kind of commemorate the people who passed away. So people usually go to the cemetery and we bring flowers. They paint the graves and bring things to decorate. I don't know anyone that brings food there, but I know that outside the cemetery, they do sell food. So the most common thing is something called hojuelas. I don't know how to describe hojuelas. It's like a very big thing, like it's fried and it's like a thin and big, like a circle thing that you eat with kind of panela. It's like
A sweet
similar
one.
to honey. Yeah,
Yeah.
like something sweet. And it's like very crunchy and it's
Oh.
delicious, honestly. It's sweet, it's delicious. And well,
I'm checking that
Salvadorians-
out. Claudia,
Yeah.
we have the exact same thing, but it's called buñuelos here.
That's
Oh,
the
yes,
buñuelo
we
in
call it
Mexico.
buñuelos too.
That's a buñuelo in Mexico. It's different
What?
from the buñuelo, the Colombian buñuelo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super different.
Argentina
from it.
too.
Yes, and like the most
goodness.
common thing that Salvadorians eat is pupusas, so we might eat it that day. Yes.
Of course.
Pupusas!
Pupusas
Of
so
course.
yummy. Yes.
It looks yummy. I have a question regarding now buñuelos. I want to know if the buñuelos in Argentina are sweet or salty.
No, they're salty.
They're salty.
Often they are like made of vegetables. Yeah,
Oh, that's
Okay.
like
Weird.
spinach, or like
Oh.
maybe melted with cheese. But mostly like the spinach ones are like the most known here. Maybe.
They do
Yeah.
look very similar to the Colombian one. Now that I'm seeing the pictures.
for real.
Okay, guys, one of you has to ask me about South Africa. So
I was going to ask you, yeah. So
Yeah, go on.
what's
Do you have a carnival that we don't know about?
in South Africa?
It appears that everybody has carnivals. I didn't mention it, but we do have a carnival in February
Oh,
as well. So,
wow.
like every country has a carnival. That's so funny.
In
What
February?
about you?
Except
too?
us. We
Yeah,
we
February.
have okay, South Africa is a melting pot of different cultures and heritages from across Africa, and it's very hard to just pick one and say that this is it. So I've chosen to speak about Heritage Day, which is a public holiday for us. We celebrate it on the 24th of September. And what happens on this day is that South Africans are really, really encouraged to celebrate their cultures and their beliefs and their heritage and traditions and whatnot. And the day is usually marked by people in South Africa dressing in their traditional attire. They do this like in places of work, and like kids, they'll go to school wearing traditional out clothing and things like that. Like my daughter went with like a little Zulu maiden outfit, which was very cute. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's also known as Braai Day, because I know Andy's gonna ask me, what food do you eat on that day, right? So
You got me.
braai is basically our word here for a barbecue, where we cook the meat on the fire. There's like chicken and sausage and beef or pork or whatever it is that you fancy to put on a fire. We'll put it on a fire. We also get different kinds of breads. We get milipap, which is made out of mili meal, which is made out of maize, and like lots of different salads and things like that. A lot of people make this meal called 7 colors, which is a meal that literally has 7 colors in it. So
Which colors?
I don't know. Just find 7 colors and put them on a plate, man.
Fair enough.
Typical things that you will find on a 7 colors plate. You've got beetroot, which has got that bright red. Maybe some spinach. The meat will give it that brown color. Maybe whatever starch will add some white. You might have a salad which has like tomatoes, which will give you the red. Potato salad, which is like kind of yellow with the mayonnaise. So it's like a big plate of food, just different colors. Most people make 7 colors on Sundays, but on occasions like this is when people really go in on the 7 colors. But yeah, that's South Africa's heritage. I think South Africa's heritage is really, really marked by the diversity in this country. So
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Busi. It surrounds family, like this tradition, or do you have something in the main square of your city? And also another question, like not really related to that one, but I find it interesting. Like, do South Africans include people from other countries in this celebration? Like, if we go, how could we participate in that celebration, you know?
of course. The things that people, there's not really like a big, like a carnival or something like that. Everyone just has their different get-togethers with family and friends. You will find that they are different establishments that'll have special Heritage Day events. And of course, if you're not from South Africa, but you happen to reside in South Africa, you can participate by also expressing your own heritage of where you come from as well. So if you are here, you don't have to just sit outside of all the events because it's not a typically South African or indigenous South African culture. No, if you're here from Mexico, bring that Mexican flavor to Heritage Day because
That's
that is
so
heritage.
interesting.
So yeah,
Amazing.
So interesting.
Like,
How
it's
open-minded.
everywhere. If you were there and you've got a story to tell about where you come from and you just happen to be around on the 24th of September, you should tell it. But in any case, we've had all these conversations about food and culture and traditions, and there's a lot going on just on this one episode alone. So before we get overwhelmed and we forget that there's a riddle, I'm going to remind you of what that riddle is, okay? What is the last part of your body to die when you die? Could it be a broken heart? Who knows? Find out at the end of the episode.
Are you looking for tips on how to create a marketing portfolio? Perhaps you need a few pointers to help you construct your resume or cover letter. We've got you covered for these topics and more. Visit our website at www.jobduck.com and click on the Resources tab to download our free resources.
Okay, everybody, in case you did not know, we are from Team Job Duck, and at Job Duck, what we do is we place incredible people with United States-based businesses, and you would work remotely, and we always have these exciting career opportunities available. So now the key word in that phrase is that you are working remotely, which means you're working from your home, and it's great. You don't have to travel to the office. You have your own little space at home. You don't have to do a lot of moving around, which is fine, but it doesn't mean that you can forget about yourself and forget to take care of yourself, and you can do away with some healthy habits. Those are still important even when you work from home. In fact, they're even more essential when you work from home, right? So what we're going to talk about today are ways in which you can continue to look after yourself and practice healthy habits as you are working from home. One of those habits for me, right, is all about how you dress when you are working. A lot of people think that when you work from home, it means that you can just dress up as whatever, you can just wear pajamas and all of that. But I can tell you right now that what you are wearing will also influence your mindset when you get to work. So if you are in pajamas when you get to work, nobody's going to take you seriously. You're not going to wake up and really get into the work you're doing because you're in your pajamas. You're still covered in sleep and you need to wake up. So for me, my biggest tip, or one of my biggest tips, is that when you get up in the morning, still do get up and take a shower and get out of your pajamas and get ready for your day.
Yeah, what you want to do is try to mimic your work life as much as you would do if you weren't working at home. I think that's a good point. So you can actually tell that there's a time that you are on your computer working and there's a time that you are on your computer doing anything else.
Claudia, what is a way in which you practice self-care when you are in your home office?
Well, this is, I think, very personal, like a very personal thing that I don't like monotony. So I try to do different things when I log off from work. I might just watch a movie, go for a walk, watch a DIY, like a random thing, like a tutorial on the internet, and try it, like something like makeup or whatever. And it helps me to disconnect from the task. I think it helps to keep the work-life balance. Of course, I agree with you about the clothing. Last month I was saving some money and I went shopping just because I wanted to feel, better and like have more energy. So that was like an excuse for me for the next week to wake up and say, okay, so I bought this, I better use it even if I'm at home. So yes, that helped me a lot. Also taking a shower before you start your day.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys eat something like on the mornings. I know some people don't, but I prefer to have, a good breakfast. Like it gives me more energy when I have breakfast. If
breakfast
I don't,
is king. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. So those are my advices.
I think it's really important to treat yourself, to find ways to disconnect your mind once you're off work. And sometimes these treats can come in small packages, like buying a piece of clothes that you want. Like at the end is your effort. You have worked for an entire month to get that money, and you deserve to treat yourself. That way you can really tell that your effort is paying. Like you're working for 100%. A purpose, an ulterior purpose. So no, yeah, totally. Shout out to that. And also don't forget the basics of a healthy lifestyle, like keep eating well, sleep at least 8 hours, like that's important. People tend to forget that we need a full charge of energy at night to
Yeah.
be able to perform well. Do exercise, go out, go to the garden, do some training, like take your bike. I love taking my bike, so that's what I'm mentioning. And do that kind of thing. So like not the energy is not all used in your mental processes, but also in your physical processes. And that's the way you can squeeze the most out of that. Good diet, the proper drinking of water, that is super important, and a good night of sleep. Sources of energy that are put into motion at equal parts and balanced. So that's my advice.
I would also like to add that it's really important that you take active pauses when you're working from home. Stand up, stretch. Don't be seated for a long of time because it's going to take a toll of you. Remember to take your breaks, to take your active pauses, to stretch a little bit. Your joints will be happy with if you do. And Maka, do you have any other tip?
Well, for me, I remember when I started working remotely with the pandemic and everything, I was not that prepared. So maybe at first I was like working on the kitchen table and then moving around to the living room and using the chair I had like that was free at my house and moving around, and then like setting a space for work, getting a desk, a comfortable chair, a place where you can always leave like your notebooks, your computer, everything like already there, and you don't have to be like preparing your office and then taking it out at the end of the day and then the next morning like finding everything again, putting it there and like setting up every day. I find out that it was really to create like this little home office space and have it so when you can sit there, you are immediately in that mindset. You have like all your things within reach. You don't have to be preparing. It's just when it's time to start working, it's like logging into the office, and then when you are done, you just close your computer, you get up and you go, and it's like leaving the office. So for me, that was great to have like a designated space just for that. It really changed the way it started and ended my day. At first, I remember being running around everywhere with like all my things, my stuff. And then I was like, where did I leave the charger? Why can't I find my notes? I know I wrote this down yesterday. Where did I wrote it? So at first I was kind of getting crazy, understanding like the dynamics of working at home, and a home office space really helped me. So I think that's very important too.
Yeah, it's a great way for you, exactly what you said, to separate your life from your work, even if it's just a corner in your bedroom. You should be able to, at the end of the day, like shut your computer and not have to go there as long as you're not on the clock, you know? So I think that's another great reason why you shouldn't try to work like on your bed or your couch, because your couch will start to feel like work even when you're not working. So, and it's also just like not great for your posture and productivity.
Exactly.
And all sorts of things. In any case, I think it's time to talk about that riddle. What is the last part of your body to die when you die?
All right. I believe it's the brain.
Is it?
I guess maybe if we're going for like correct answers in a biology exam, that would be the answer.
Okay. So it's a no for your riddle.
Not for the riddle.
Your name?
No.
I mean, it's not
your
of your
name.
body, but
It lives on forever. It'll be alive on your tombstone.
Your eyes.
Close. I need a little bit more from your answer. Okay, I am going to give you the answer now. The answer is your pupils, because they dilate.
That was good.
oh my god.
I could never guess that one.
Thank you so much to our audience for sticking around to the end of the episode. Thank you to Macarena and Claudia for joining us today. Really loved hearing about El Salvador and Argentina. We don't hear a lot from you guys on this podcast. We would love to hear more.
Yes,
to our audience,
please.
if you want to tell us more about the cultural festivities that happen in your country, please drop us a line in the comments. Maybe if you want to give us more tips, if you want to share more tips on how to take care of yourself in your home office, drop that in the comments too. If you would like to know more about the Job Deck and what we do, or if you would like to apply to one of our open positions, please visit our website at www.jobdeck.com. You can also hang out with us on social media. Find us on Instagram as @thejobduck. Find us on Facebook. We are The Job Duck. Find us on LinkedIn. We are The Job Duck. Find us on TikTok. We are The Job Duck. Find us on TikTok as our brand ambassadors. That account is called @JobDuckDaily. On Twitter, we are @the_JobDuck. If you have the interest, you can also find us on Pinterest. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to our guests for joining us. We will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.